Previously on the Palmetto Trail. I caught an early flight to Charleston from Ohio and was promptly picked up by the Coastal Trail Coordinator, Marie Butler, who shuttled me to the trailhead at the beginning of the Palmetto Trail on the East Coast. With only 2 hours of daylight remaining, I made quick work of the 7-mile Awenda Passage before making camp at the beginning of the Swamp Fox Passage. For the next 2 days, I worked my way through the 46-mile Swamp Fox Passage, enjoying the many miles of solitude amongst the pines and palmettos, and finally arriving at the banks of the Lake Moultrie Passage for the lengthy dike walk around the lake. After some dinner at Watermark Bar and Grill in the small town of Bonneau, I was chasing the daylight while walking out of town looking for my campsite along Lake Moultrie. In this final episode, I finish off the Lake Moultrie Passage and work my way through the Eutaw Springs and Santee Passages. On these final 2 passages, I walked through several quaint little towns, enjoying some non-trail food, saw acres of well-manicured peach orchards, and visited with several of the locals. I feel like I got a little taste of the real low country in South Carolina. Come join me on my journey along the beautiful Palmetto Trail. It's shaping up to be another beautiful day. I think it's supposed to be partly cloudy, but obviously it's a little bit warmer. I'm starting with no hat and gloves and shorts. Didn't even need to be bold and start cold because it's not very cold today. I think it got down to low 40s last night. Feels nice. Well, here we go. 17 miles to finish up the Lake Moultrie Passage. And a majority of it is going to be on this dike, the dike walk. At least there's some grass off to the side that I can walk on if my feet start getting sore. Boy, oh boy, I did not expect another blue sky day. This is fabulous. This walk is a little mundane, but I will take it because I know tomorrow and Friday, today's Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, they're calling for 50, 60, 70% chance of rain. So I gotta enjoy the sunny weather today while I got it. Well, water is definitely not an issue here. Walking beside it all day. Pretty clear too. Wow. I'm telling you, man, this filter is amazing. I like drinking out of it better. I like filtering with it better. I like how you can close each end off and it never drips or leaks. You can throw it right in your quilt or sleeping bag foot box when it's freezing out and don't have to worry about any leaks. The flow rate's amazing too. One of the things I packed for a snack each morning or afternoon are these little packaroons by Heather's Choice. It's like a little coconut cube. This one's kind of a chocolate flavored. 150 calories for 1 ounce. Very lightweight, very tasty. I actually have a few other new things I packed with me today for snacks. Sour Patch Kids, honey roasted walnuts, and they're all kind of crunched up, buffalo pretzel bites. I know it's a weird combination to have these 3 things together, but I didn't feel like putting them in separate bags. So I'm currently walking about 3/4 of a mile that way to cross a road bridge to get around this canal. I could have crossed right there very easily on the railroad tracks because I could go right back down past that. But I'm a purist when it comes to hiking a trail. Even though no one would ever know, I would know. I want to hike the entire trail. I've been noticing some great areas that you could easily stealth camp in along this canal. Made it across the Dr. Joseph H. Jefferson Sr. Bridge, back onto the canal, or the dike. Got about a mile back to that railroad tracks. Maybe it's only a half mile. Well, we just about made it back to the railroad tracks. I noticed the clouds are really starting to roll in now. Still a lot of blue sky out that way, but mostly cloudy this way. And that's what I expected. But it's warming up. We're gonna have almost 75 degrees today. And it's a lot breezier today. It was actually a little difficult to fly the drone. I kept getting high wind warnings on my screen. But I'm glad I got it up to get an overhead view of this long dike walk. If anybody was wondering, for my electrolytes on this trip, I have Noon Sport tablets, and I have lemon lime salt tab chews. These are really good. I just take a couple of them today just to make sure I'm not losing too much salt, because it is warm out here. You know, I'm sweating a little bit. Now, I wouldn't normally take these things on a short trip or even a 2 or 3 nighter unless I'm pushing high miles like I am on this trail. If I'm doing 20 to 30 miles back to back to back, I just feel like my body needs these things to perform at its best. It just dawned on me that I don't know if I've ever talked about my trekking poles. These are the Fezon Compacts. Seems like they're Compact 3, I can't remember. Yeah, because they're 3 parts. They're twist lock. They have 3 sections. You can get the Compact 4 that has 4 sections, but which will telescope down to even shorter than these. But I can get these in my suitcase just fine. 158 grams. They claim they're the world's lightest. Right there it says, world's lightest aluminum trekking pole. I would never use carbon fiber poles. I've heard horror stories from too many friends that have snapped them on rocky trails. The aluminum poles, I've bent them several times on hikes in the past, not this pair, but the pair before these. And I was always able to bend them right back and continue on hiking. So I really like the twist lock action of these as well. So quick and simple. I don't like the other styles of locking mechanisms or the kind that fold up. These work just fine for me. The first deer I've seen on trail. 70 miles of the Palmetto Trail, and I finally see some deer. I see deer almost every day at home, so it's not like it's anything special, but when you've walked 70 miles out in the middle of nowhere, for the most part, you expect to see some wildlife. I've seen nothing but a couple squirrels and some birds. Cleaning up the brush along the canal. Well, they actually have you cross the tracks right here. Just a short little 100-foot section. Six more miles, maybe 7, into a little town where I think it's State Route 45 crosses the canal. And I'm gonna grab a bite at Macdaddy's Diner Cafe. I think that's what it's called. All right, we're finally off of that. Oh, like 20 miles of canal walking, dike walking, back into the woods. I'm actually getting a little sprinkled on right now. Was not expecting this today. It's not hard enough that I have to put on my rain jacket yet, but if it keeps up, I might have to resituate part of my pack. Maybe being inside the woods will help shield me from the sprinkles. Looks like we're going to be walking by this little canal right here called the Old Santee Canal. I think that's what it's called. You always know you're on the right trail. It's yellow blazes in here. Most of the time it's been white. Hiking through here has been much more exciting. It's been skirting the outside edges of this trailer park. I'm on my final 5 miles of the Lake Moultrie Passage before entering Eutaw Springs Passage. And I plan on stopping at a little diner there called Macdaddy's Restaurant. Currently 15 miles in. Does anybody know what these little things are? They look like little miniature bamboo plants. I know that's not what they are, but they are thick in here. Now this is definitely something you don't see every day. 2 large ratchet straps pulling back this fence. We got rain. Currently on the Viper Road walk, finishing off the last few miles of Lake Moultrie Passage. Well, just down that road is the trailhead. One of the trailheads to the Palmetto Trail. And I just entered the Eutaw Springs Passage. Getting ready to cross the diversion canal. All right, I'm up here at the top of the diversion canal. This is the canal that leads to Lake Moultrie that I've been walking around for the last 2 days. And this way goes to Lake Marion. So I believe this canal is just a connector from Lake Marion to Lake Moultrie. And I think there's some food right down there somewhere. Well, I arrived here at Macdaddy's. It got me a booth right on the diversion canal. I got a little smudge on my screen because it's been raining non-stop for the last 2 hours. But as long as I got something good here to eat at Macdaddy's, I'll be happy. Starting off with some greens. I've been missing those the last couple days. Just a basic salad, but it's still good. Well, for the main course, I got catfish stew and a cheeseburger with the works. Oh, we got some friendly dogs that wanted to say hi. Come here, boy. Come here. Oh, they're tied up. Well, I'm on Murphy Bay Road. Oh, he's not tied up. Oh, you be a good dog. Hey. Go home. He's got a broken leash. I'm not worried about him. He's just defending his territory. Come here. I made me a little friend. Yeah, you're a good dog. You're one of the good ones. Okay, I gotta get moving. You be a good dog, okay? Got a lovely dumping grounds here. Right on the corner of this road. This is disgusting. A bunch of catfish carcasses. I mean, there's like a dozen here. They're all scattered back in there, along with a bunch of trash. And I guess this is where you throw your dead dogs too. That's the second dead dog I've seen on this road walk. I'm all tucked in here in a little stealth site I found just off of Murphy Bay Road, about 3 miles in on the Eutaw Springs Passage. Had a great meal at Macdaddy's restaurant. And fortunately the rain stopped. It's been spitting on and off since I left the restaurant, but it's about 4:30. I figured I might as well go ahead and start looking for a place because further on down Eutaw Springs Road, or not Eutaw Springs, but on into the Eutawv Springs Passage, there is not very many places, if any, to camp. So I was fortunate to find this nice area here, and we're going to call this home tonight. See you in the morning. Good morning. Got on the move about 7:30 this morning. I'm already 3 miles in on the Eutawv Springs Passage. It's a 21-mile section, and it's all road walk. But it is on gravel roads a lot of the way, backcountry roads. And to be honest with you, it doesn't really bother me that much. I kind of enjoy the change of scenery, and you see a lot of interesting things when you're on road walks that you don't normally see when you're out in the middle of the woods. So originally I was going to skip some of these road walk sections and move ahead to where there's more beautiful off-road sections, starting to get into some of the hills of the Palmetto Trail, but I have a feeling I'm going to come back and knock off maybe a 100-mile chunk of this every year until I completely section hike the entire Palmetto Trail. So I'm just going to plow on through this long road walk, and I'm going to be coming into Eutawville in about 17 more miles. Hopefully I can find some food to eat there. A lot of trash. Wow. Everywhere you look on this section of back road, it's like a dumping ground. How sad. Is it that hard to throw your trash in the proper place and recycle? Good grief. Disgusting. I'm gonna be out of water here in the next half hour. And this is the first water source I've seen. I would rather be dehydrated than filter that. That looks like sewage. And I don't see any creeks or stream crossings anywhere. Well, I'm sure I'll find something eventually, but this road walk might be a little dry. Some curious cattle. I don't know if I've ever seen so much litter in all my life along the roadsides. It's like this on both sides. Just look at this. How can people be so disrespectful or just not care? Blows my mind. I'm here at South Carolina 45, and there's a marathon station. My water crisis has been averted. Nice. We actually have about 2 miles off-road. This is going to be great for a change. See all those mounds out there in that pasture? Those are ant hills. I put my trekking pole in one yesterday and just ants came pouring out of it. Man, I wish I would have known about this area last night. I would have pushed a little further. Mile 7 through 8 would have been beautiful to stealth camp in. Tons of places. Boy, am I glad I did not skip the Eutaw Springs Passage. I've seen some pretty interesting things along the road, and now I got a 2 or 3 mile stretch in amongst the pines with a clear blue sky. Doesn't get much better. Looks like a pretty nice place to store your boat. Well, unfortunately, I have left the woods, back out here on a dirt road. It looks like I'm heading towards a paved road up ahead. Oh man, it feels good to take a load off for a minute. It is so warm out. It's got to be over 72, 73 already. When you're hiking out in the sun though, it feels like 80. Check out this old house. It's got trees growing out of the foundation. Man, I'd love to know the history behind that house. It's actually pretty big. That's part of it all the way over there on the left. This is Fredcorn Road. Oh, it's maybe a 1.5 mile straight shot up here to Lake Marion. We're just about to Lake Marion. And I'm telling you, see those pines right there? There's about a 1/2 mile stretch right here. We're almost to the top of Fredcorn Road. That would be excellent stealth camping. I wouldn't hesitate to go set up camp in there if it was the end of the day. Hey, I think we're getting our first look at Lake Marion actually. Right here. I can see the lake way off in the distance there. Just as another point of reference for this area that I'm talking about, that would be great stealth camping. About a 1/4 mile back is Campground Road that takes you to a campground right on Lake Marion. Man, I can't believe how hot it is. It feels like it's 80 out here. Thank goodness there's a little breeze. This must be a trailhead for the Santee Cooper Nature Trail. This road walk I'm on right now very well may be the worst section I've been on in the last 95 miles. I mean, it's still beautiful. There's beautiful pines everywhere because it's some kind of wildlife management area. But this road is almost 3 miles straight, no turns, and it's on asphalt. You know, it feels really calm down here because of all the trees blocking the wind. But up above the tree line, while flying the drone, I just about lost it. It kept getting high wind warnings, and I could tell it was pretty breezy up there. But even going full blast into the wind, it was still drifting away from me. And I brought it back down to the treetops right there, about 80 feet or so, and I was finally able to get it back. I thought I was going to lose it in Lake Marion. Beautiful area. Finally getting ready to get off this asphalt road. Well, we're going to be on the asphalt, but we're finally making a turn onto a different road, working our way to Eutawville. Marie, Butler, if you're watching this, this is a little tricky to see right here. There's the Palmetto Trail sign right in there, buried behind all this brush, with a faint yellow blaze on that tree that can hardly be seen either. It'd be easy for someone to walk right by this. That was at the turnoff of Fredcorn Road at mile 16 3/4 on the Eutawv Springs Passage. Right here at this church. Spring Hill Baptist Church. That's definitely something I don't come across the trail very often. Old turtle shell of some kind. Pretty cool. I don't know if this was a snapper or what it is. A little mossy around here. It makes everything look really gray and drab. Spanish moss section. Wow, that is pretty. Makes me want to go stealth camping. But it's on the other side of this barbed wire fence with deer hair on it. You know, parts of this trail really are like a passage because there's private property, big open areas and fields of private property all around you. And the trail, at least on the Eutawv Springs Passage, takes you along fence rows and driveways, but it's in the woods. Not all the time, but just enough to make you feel like you're immersed in the wilderness still. So I kind of like this. You know, you'll pop out on the road every now and then before you know it, you're back in the woods again for a little bit. Did someone say stealth campsite? My goodness, that looks like a perfect place. Mile 18 and a half on the Eutawv Springs Passage. I was really worried coming into the Eutawv Springs Passage, thinking there wouldn't be anywhere to stealth camp. But there has been numerous awesome locations that you could easily stealth camp along this passage. Now I'm hoping it's the same once I leave Eutawville and start heading up towards Vance on the Santee Passage. I think it's about 6 or 7 miles from Eutawville to Vance, and I'm hoping that I can find a good stealth site somewhere along that area. Will someone please tell me why South Carolina road ditches are not cleaned up? I'm wondering if a lot of it has to do with being in a very low-income area and people don't want to pay for trash pickup and they don't care about recycling. That's my guess. Well, I have made it to Eutawville, and I'm just about to this little pizza joint up here at the intersection. It just opened like 10 minutes ago, so I'm right on time to get a hot, fresh, delicious pizza. And then I'm gonna work my way out of town for probably 2 hours, see how far I get, make my way towards Vance, and look for a stealth site along the way. Let's go check out this pizza first, though. I made it to the pizza zone right here on the intersection. Well, unfortunately, they didn't have dine-in service there, so I walked down the road about a quarter mile here at the community building. There's an actual sign here, like a little kiosk, talking about the Palmetto Trail, the beginning of the Santee Passage. I'm gonna take advantage of this nice bench and eat my pizza here. Perfect. I was worried that I was gonna run out of water on my way to Vance, and I forgot there's an IGA, Eutawville IGA. Got me a couple bottles of water. I'm gonna chug one down right now and stuff the other one in my pack for tonight. Okay, I just left Eutawville about a half mile ago, and I am now on the Santee Passage. I got about 6 miles to Vance. It's only 3:30. I think I'm probably gonna push all the way to Vance. There's a Baptist church there I'm thinking about camping at because it's right next door to a gas station that will have some resupplies and water if needed. But just in case I do stealth camp somewhere between here and Vance, now you probably can't see it, but I am loaded down with, you can't see it, 2 water bottles on both sides. So I can make it through the night with the water I am carrying. But it is a heavy load to carry if I do decide to go all the way to Vance. Walking by a peach orchard, I'm guessing. A lot of beautiful peach trees. Both sides of the road. Okay, my curiosity got the best of me. I wanted to check out their irrigation system. Since I am a produce farmer, these things interest me. Peaches are often lost, especially in Ohio, to freezing and frost. I'm sure it happens down here too, but I'm guessing it's not as frequent. And after looking at this a little closer, I think those are not sprinklers for frost and freeze control. I don't think they have to worry about it down here. That's just the emitter for each individual tree. That's probably a bus up there that hauls all the migrant workers around the orchards for harvesting. They just pruned these. You can see all the clippings down the aisleways of each row. And these look sheared on top. So the other ones we saw prior, back that way, have not been pruned yet. If they got a migrant crew in here, they're probably hand pruning those. Yeah, because I can see how they're cut. If you look real closely, I can see angled cuts, all different heights. So yeah, those are being hand pruned. My goodness, what a big job. Well, it's about 4:45, and I'm about 1.5 miles from Vance. And then I'm gonna make a left on, I think it's 210 or 310, one or the other, in Vance. And about 1 mile down that road is a church. I was gonna turn right and go into Vance and stay at a Baptist church of some kind, pretty close to a gas station, but that's not the way the Santee Passage goes. So I'm gonna make a left. There's another church about 1 mile out of town. Hopefully that's gonna be home tonight. Man, I don't know what this is. This looks like dog poop bags. Oh my goodness, I don't even want to know what that is. Entering the town of Vance. And this is a busy road, my goodness. All right, well, I changed my mind on which church I'm going to. As soon as I get up here to the Vance Road, the main drag through Vance, I'm gonna take a right, and there's a Baptist church about 1/4 mile down the road, and then a couple hundred yards beyond that is a gas station. So I have to have cell service tonight because I gotta check into my Southwest flight tonight at 7:20. I'm afraid if I go the other direction, I might not have good service and won't be able to check into my flight. This could be home tonight. First Baptist Church of Vance. I'm gonna take a little walk around this church and see if there's a nice private place in the back somewhere. Maybe they'll even have an outlet for me to charge my drone. The back side of this church is gonna work perfect. I found a water spigot. Doesn't work. If I need water in the morning, I'll have to go to the gas station on down the road. Oh, it's just like 1/4 mile. No electrical outlets around this church either. I'll show you around back. All right, here's the back side of the church. This is gonna work just fine. I hope it's okay to camp here. I mean, on the Florida Trail, the Baptist churches welcome you in to use their property to camp. I think I'm gonna set up right there by the propane tank. Okay, I got my tent set up here behind the Baptist church, right next to the woods. I'm pretty worn out. It was a 26-mile day. I'm in Vance. A little farther than I thought I would be at this point, but I'm not complaining. I'll get to see more tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna go in there and lay down, tend to my feet, because I feel like I might have a blister coming on, and get ready for another day. See you in the morning. It's 6 a.m., but I don't think I'll be able to sleep anymore. There's a noisy rain gutter just outside of my tent. But hopefully that will provide water for my coffee this morning. Good morning. This Baptist church here in Vance worked out pretty good last night. I'm all packed up. I'm going to head down to the local gas station before hopping back on the Santee Passage. The rain has stopped. It's supposed to rain till 10 or 11 o'clock, but it has stopped. So I was able to get all packed up. It's 7:45. Only rained for about 2 hours, so not too bad. Well, just enjoying my coffee here at the church before I hit the road and finish the final 8 miles of the Santee Passage in Santee. I would not recommend this first stop gas station down the road here, a couple hundred yards, unless you really need water. I mean, they did have ice cold beer at 8 in the morning, but no coffee lids for my coffee, no creamer, real creamer. So it's kind of a bust for me. I'm ready to get back on the trail. So this refugee New Calvary Church has water right around the corner. This is about 1 mile out of Vance, that way.
Hey, hi there, good dog.
Haven't had any mean dogs yet on the Palmetto Trail. I got me a travel buddy. There's the daffodils I've been waiting to see. Wow, signs of spring. Beautiful. Right in front of this old run-down house. I gotta take a peek inside. Oh my. That's crazy. My wife loves seeing these old deserted houses. I'm afraid I'd fall through the floor if I walk through there. Huh, very interesting. Love the old wood siding. And here you can see that there's no insulation in the walls, which I wouldn't expect to see, but it's just funny that in these older houses, especially in the south, there's no insulation in them. Another big rundown house back in there under this huge oak tree. I think that's an oak tree. Think of the things that tree has seen. More gravel and sandy roads. Slowly working my way to Santee. I'm less than 5 miles away from finishing this trek, and I'm beginning to hear the roar of freeway traffic getting louder and louder as I get closer to the end. I have left the wilderness for good and the sand roads. Got to make about a half mile walk down this way, loop back around onto this freeway. I'm going to be walking right back on that freeway. It'd be so easy to jump the fence, but I want to walk every mile. I'm getting ready to get on the South Carolina 6 connector road up here. It'll take me to I-95 and Santee. But right here, before you get to the end of this little road, there's a couple ponds here and some beautiful pine trees that would be an excellent spot for stealth camping if you found yourself ending a day in this area. Crossing I-95, only 1.5 miles to the end. I'd actually like to be heading there right now. I've made it to the end here at the Santee Town Hall. All right, we're gonna wrap this up right here. What a perfect place to finish the video here at the Santee Town Hall. It's a beautiful place. I'm hanging out here in this gazebo, getting ready to walk about 1 mile to a seafood restaurant to enjoy a post-trip meal. I really enjoyed my time on the Palmetto Trail. I'm surprised it doesn't get more love than it does. I didn't see one hiker the entire time I was out there other than just a few day hikers on the Santee Passage. The trail maintainers do a fabulous job of keeping this trail immaculate. I always knew where I was with the maps that you can download from their website. The camping options were fabulous. I don't have anything bad to say about this trail. There were more road walks than I would like, but you know what? Like I said earlier in the video, I saw a lot of interesting things that I wouldn't have seen otherwise. So I'm glad I did the road walk sections and didn't skip ahead, because I saw so many cool things that I'll probably never see again. However, I am really looking forward to experiencing some of the other passages further west in the more hilly and mountainous areas of South Carolina. If you are considering a hike on the Palmetto Trail, specifically the first 5 passages that I did, and have some questions or concerns that you'd like to ask me, just drop a comment down below in the comment section and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Overall, it's a great trail to get away from the cold winter conditions up north. I thought about going to the Florida Trail, found cheaper flights coming to Charleston, South Carolina. That's why I chose the Palmetto Trail, and I have no regrets. Well, folks, this is going to wrap it up. I had a great time filming my adventure on the Palmetto Trail, and I love showcasing my adventures to share with all of you. I hope you really enjoyed the video. And now it's time to fly home to cold, snowy Ohio. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I'm Jason Wish, wishing you a great time on your next adventure. Well, I either gotta wait a half hour till noon, till this place opens, or find a new place. They changed their hours on me. It wasn't listed on their website. Fried green tomatoes look very tasty. All right, folks, I am in my shuttle vehicle being transported by Marie Butler. She is the trail technician, right? Trail coordinator for the passages that I just finished hiking. So, Marie, briefly explain what exactly is your job.
As the coastal trail coordinator, my job is to work with volunteers, scouts, anyone that wants to just come out and work on the trail, clear the trail, clear trees, make sure everything is safe and that there's no, like today we cleared 3 trees and checked on the logging operation that's on the edge of the trail. So it's basically just clearing the trail and working with volunteers and volunteer groups to be out on the trail. And sometimes I am a trail angel that I pick people up and take them back to where they want to go.
Yeah, an amazing trail angel at that, because I didn't have to rent a car for this trip. She came to the Charleston airport, picked me up, dropped me off at the trailhead and at the Awenda Passage, and then picked me up at the end of my hike 120 miles through the Palmetto Trail in Santee. And we are currently on our way back to the airport. So Marie, how long have you been doing this?
I've been with Palmetto Conservation for this is my 6th year.
Okay.
So I've been 5 full years. In February started year number 6. And then I incorporate hikers and volunteers and Boy Scouts. I have a lot of Eagle Scouts projects that Life Scouts contact me, and we do a lot of Eagle Scout projects.
I take it you really enjoy doing all this.
I do. I worked for the Forest Service for a little over 30, almost 30 years.
Wow.
And retired from that and started working with Palmetto Conservation Foundation on the same trails that I was working on the forest. So it just kind of continued doing what I was already doing.
Okay.
So yeah, I like being outside. I could never be somebody's secretary or anything. It just can't sit behind a desk that long.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So the Palmetto Trail is basically the premier hiking trail of South Carolina, right?
Yes, it is. And like I said earlier on, in the early 90s, they named it, the Palmetto Trail was the Mountain to the Sea Trail, and it went from the Intercoastal Waterway to the mountains of South Carolina. But from my understanding, there was another trail called the Mountain to the Sea Trail, so it eventually got a name change to the Palmetto Trail. And so the Swamp Fox Passage was the original passage for on the Francis Marion National Forest, and then we added Awenda, and then Santee Cooper added the Santee Trail there at Lake Moultrie, and it's grown from there, and now is probably a little over 300 and something miles completed. It'll be 500 and something when it's done, and we're going to be adding on a few more passages this year that'll open up, and it'll keep growing until we get it all connected.
Awesome. Well, Marie, I really appreciate you being my trail angel for this trip. It helped me out a great deal, and I thoroughly enjoyed my hike on the Palmetto Trail.